Okay, so we are going to just do a few problems from the actual test model. Number 4, I believe I did some of those yesterday, just finding missing sides, and then we talked about doing the 6 trigonometric functions. So number 4 and number 5 are similar. So I'll do number 5. So I need to find the side that's missing, which is side B. And we are also talking about the angle B. So using the Pythagorean theorem for side B, B equals the square root of C squared minus A squared, which is the square root of 4 minus 1. And we end up with the square root of 3. And as always, label your sides. We're referencing angle B. And because we're referencing angle B, sine of B will be B over C, square root of 3 over 2. And I forgot to write the square root of 3 and the unknown side. And then you just fill the rest of them in accordingly. So just to keep in mind that the sine is first and cosecant probably should have been listed after the tangent, but it was not. So the secant is just the reciprocal of cosine. And likewise, the other two functions, cosecant of B and cotangent of B. And then we have the cosecant. We're given the cosecant of theta, and then we just need to find the sine of theta. Which is 5 divided by the square root of 45. And when you rationalize the denominator, you get the square root of 45 times the square root of 45. And you end up with 5 times the square root of 9 times 5 over 45. And then you just reduce the fraction 15 times the square root of 5 over 45. And there's your result, the square root of 5 over 3. And then moving on to number 7, the equation with the restriction on x is the terminal side of an angle, theta, in standard position. So the best thing to do is draw a graph. You can use Desmos or your graphing calculator, but you can also just draw by hand in your notebook where this position is. So we're talking about x is less than or equal to 0. And when we're talking about this vector here, x is going to be equal to 1 and y is going to be equal to -4. And then you just do these 6 trigonometric functions accordingly. And you already know how to do that. So for writing the exact expressions for sine, cosine, and tangent, just label the sides of the triangle and then just use the letters. So for sine is n over p, cosine is m over p, and tangent will be n over m. And then we all know that all triangles have 3 sides. So the equilateral triangle will be that as well. So for converting -45 degrees and 6 minutes to decimal degree notation, you can just use your calculator to figure that decimal out. So for this one, we're beginning at x equals 0 and y is greater than or equal to 0, so to be D. And then we need to figure out what the sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent are. So the sine would be 1, cosine is 0, And then, of course, tangent is sine over cosine. So it's 1 over 0, so that does not exist. And then the other three are just a flip of those. So cosecant would be 1. Secant would. And then there's some that I'm skipping. Oh. There's a few that I already went over in the other video, some things that you know that should be pretty simple for you. The complement and supplement of an angle. I went over ones like this already, vertical angles, sine, cosine, tangent, you know how to do that. And then these are similar to what we have done already. Others that are similar. And then lastly,